Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm just doing a quick video. I've been on Zoom this morning trying to help a friend out with some stuff, and I still have my Zoom screen up, and I'm still studying to fly this freaking thing right here. It's kicking my butt. And long story short, I don't have a lot of time to do any video editing, so this is something I can just slap on YouTube pretty quick. But I've been getting a lot of emails um, about coming through Canada if you're unvaccinated. I get a lot of those emails, and look, I totally get it. I'm not for the vaccine either. I'm 100% against mandating it. If you want it, great, get it. If you don't, whatever. I'm not, that should be a decision between yourself and your doctor and your spiritual beliefs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not for mandating any of it, and it seems to be slowly getting a lot better. But the reason for this video, if you've not tuned in before, my name is Adam. I live in Alaska. My wife's a flight attendant. We love doing videos in Mexico. We've got a lot of content we need to get pushed out. I've just been super behind and busy going through some of the schools I'm going through. And my wife's been busy. You know how life gets. So I'm hoping to start pushing some more Mexico videos out in the next month. But if you're watching this, you're probably not even interested in Mexico, because the other thing I also do is during the pandemic, when it started, I lost my job due to COVID-19, got laid off. And I started buying and selling vehicles. So I would go to the lower 48, buy vehicles. I'd buy a truck, a trailer, an enclosed trailer, and a vehicle, put it in the trailer, and I would drive it up to Alaska through all these crazy lockdowns and stuff. And I was able to do a couple videos, never intended for it to go anywhere. And it kind of inspired me. I started seeing helping all these people. I've gotten like 8 emails just this week alone, thanking me for my videos, saying they're helping. So that makes me feel like $1 million. So I feel like it was time to do another one. I'm still getting a lot of questions about, if I'm not vaccinated, will they let me through? And the answer to that is still under certain circumstances. So they changed some of the rules. So I figured we'd just update things real quick. So now, if you are vaccinated, because some of my viewers are vaccinated, some of them are not. If you are vaccinated, actually, I would say a majority I talk to coming here to Alaska are not vaccinated. So I guess it all goes with the whole freedom thing. You want your own rights, right? So if you're vaccinated, you no longer need the PCR test within 72 hours. So that's a huge plus. So you don't have to have that. That's been a problem. If you're unvaccinated, you will need the PCR COVID test 72 hours prior to arrival at the border. I highly recommend Couts or Coots. I think it's Coots, Alberta. It's just north of Great Falls, Montana. There is a place in Great Falls that'll be like your last stop to get a COVID test. I've talked to 4 people recently that said if you don't have an appointment, they will sit. I could talk to 4 people that sat there 2 or 3 days waiting for an appointment, just in a hotel in Great Falls waiting to go. So that would really screw your plans. So make sure you plan ahead. Yes, I get the question a lot. Adam, is it truly worth driving all the way to Couts? And the answer is yes. Out of everybody I've talked to, they're way more practical. There's way less craziness. I've heard horror stories from all of them, but Couts or Coots, whatever the heck the name of it is, they seem to really work with people. They go about things in a common sense approach, which is really hard to find common sense throughout this pandemic, in my opinion, in any country. So they're all crazy. So my favorite country, Mexico, they're still wearing masks outside. I don't get that. Even on the beach, I don't get that. It's not mandatory, but most people are doing it because they feel like it's their obligation. I don't get it. Anyway, and it was mandatory for a while. In some places, I think it still is to wear the damn thing outside. So every country to me has lost their freaking mind over this stuff. But that's my opinion. I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to me. I'm not even healthy. I'm trying to get healthy. Been at the gym this morning. So if you're unvaccinated, you don't have a test, go ahead and make sure you take one. Make sure you set it up. I would do it in Great Falls personally, 72 hours before you cross. It is up to the agent if they let you through unvaccinated. Important note here, you more than likely, from what I'm hearing, and maybe I know a lot of the stuff's changing, Ukraine and all that good stuff is taking all the COVID media coverage away for now. So a lot of things you haven't heard is what the truckers did actually made a pretty positive impact in Canada. And in my opinion, I think it probably made a positive impact here, whether we want to admit that or not, because I think the U.S. saw that and did want to be involved in it. But in saying that, a lot of things have been getting lifted, not on the federal level in Canada, but on the state level. But the last information I had from an unvaccinated person was about 3 weeks ago, and that person told me they wasn't allowed to eat anywhere because they couldn't get the Arrive Canada. So let me back up. You have to now I know before I was preaching, don't do it. Everything's changed. Have to download the Arrive Canada app, have to update all that stuff on there prior to arrival. It's going to ask you in the app, where are you staying at? You need to mark on there that you're staying just pick a hotel in freaking Grand Prairie, Alberta, and just write it in there, because the app won't recognize Alaska because we fall under a loophole. So make sure you pick that out, have all your stuff prior to arrival at the border. It's going to really streamline things from what everyone's telling me. When you get to the border, you'll have all that. If you're not vaccinated, make sure you have that 72-hour PCR test. They may require you to take another one at the border, but so if you are vaccinated, it's pretty streamlined. You download your vaccination in there, and I'm going off what people tell me. You download your vaccination card, all that stuff will go in the Arrive Canada app. When you get to the border, basically it's going to give you the QR COVID passport, so to speak. And every restaurant you go to, they're going to scan that thing. And that's what's going to let you stay into the restaurant, is what I'm being told. You can't, if you're unvaccinated and you don't have this QR code, as of 3 weeks ago, so today is actually April 3rd, so this may be outdated information, but as of 3 weeks ago, they would not even allow you to eat breakfast at a hotel. So you would need to plan ahead. You're allowed to go to a gas station, you're allowed to get groceries and all this kind of stuff. So, but I hear a lot of those things are really easing up. So you probably could go through fine. In fact, if you do go through, please email me, bigskyeblessing@gmail.com. My name is Adam. Again, bigskyeblessing@gmail.com. I definitely want to hear from you if you go through, because that way I can help everyone else. I'm getting a lot of emails. They're starting to come back in again. I guess the pretty weather's bringing people to Alaska. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to answer them for you. It might take me a couple of days sometimes, but I will get back to you. So the answer is, it's up to the agent. The last question I had, or I'm going to throw two things out there. The last question I had was, one gentleman said he was taking a ferry part of the way up, and then he was going to have to drive through Canada for part of the way, and then into Alaska. So I don't know. I'm assuming like taking the ferry, say to Juneau, or not Juneau. What's north of Juneau? The Haines Junction. So Haines, Alaska, or Skagway, and then driving up. I don't know if that's the route he was talking about going. He said Whittier, but I don't know where you would go. I don't know where you'd have to get off in Canada to still get to Whittier. That's a good question. I don't know. So here's my answer to that. If you're faced with that, if you're going to take the ferry, what I would recommend, the ferry, from what I'm hearing, sucks lately here. It's government ran, so that should tell you a lot. And it's super expensive. It's like $4,000 to $5,000 for you and your vehicle to go. What I would recommend doing, and I've been doing Uber and Lyft part-time. My new aviation job don't pay jack. It's just a great experience. So I've been doing Uber and Lyft part-time, and I've been taking a lot of people to and from the port, picking up or dropping off cars. I'm hearing the best company to go with. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank now. It's not Matson, it's the other one. And you just go to them direct. I will get that name for you for sure. If you need that name, shoot me an email. But there is a company that everyone, is not Matson. Everybody said don't go with Matson because your car is like out in the open. God, I'm drawing a blank here. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna look it up. Well, I can't. It sucks because I'm not actually editing this video. But shipping to Alaska. So anyway, my advice to you on Tote. Tote is the name. TOTE. I would call them directly if you're just dying to ship your vehicle up. I would call them directly. The cheapest way would be to take it to Tacoma, is what I was told. And I was told it's by a boat captain. Take this to Tacoma, drop it off with Tote, and then have them ship it to Alaska. It's roughly $2,000 per vehicle is what I'm being told. $2,000, $2,500, somewhere in there, and then fly up. That would be my advice if you're wanting to go that direction. If you're wanting to drive, I would not recommend taking the ferry plus driving, because you're kind of defeating the purpose. The drive is a super easy drive. I've got tons of videos on that. I can help you if you need help with that, but it's a very easy drive once you get past all the diplomatic crap. But from what I'm hearing, it's getting a lot easier. But the worst border agents that I hear of are closer to Alaska. So for example, Beaver Creek, they're like very unforgiving. If you don't have boom, 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 they ain't letting you through. They're the hardest to deal with. So if you're coming up, and I think the guy that wrote me actually is from Alaska, so that'll help that he has an Alaska driver's license. But in the beginning, they didn't give a crap. So there was a lady that went down to, she was trying to get to Juneau. She bought a newspaper in Juneau, or Skagway. Skagway is what it was. She bought a newspaper in Skagway. That's what it was. She bought the newspaper company. She lived in like Anchorage. She's an Alaska resident. She's trying to get to Skagway to her company she just bought. She had all this proof, and they wouldn't let her through because they said it wasn't essential. They said she could charter an aircraft to go over there. She's like, I'm trying to go run my business. I'm trying to drive through, set things up. So set my office up. Would not let her through. So this has been year and a half ago. It's when they were really insane. So I know they've gotten a lot more lenient, but if I were you, I'd be super scared about taking the ferry up part of the way and then trusting that border agent, because then you're stuck if you don't have any other options. You're absolutely stuck. And it probably will cost you more to have your car shipped from there. It's going to cost you a hell of a lot more in airfare. So I would not recommend doing that, to answer your question. If you've got to go through Canada, I recommend Couts or Coots, Alberta, and that's it. Some people are saying it's okay to go up the Caesar Highway. There's just not a lot of there's not a lot of amenities. I hear it's beautiful. There's not a lot of stops. I haven't went that route. I can't answer that. I can tell you that my viewers that were writing me, I was getting a lot in the beginning. I haven't had a bad story from Couts or Coots, whatever the heck the name of it is. So, all right. I hope that information helped. So the answer, a lot of the questions were, can I still get through unvaccinated? And the answer is, it's up to the agent. So far, 100% of the people I've talked to that were unvaccinated that went up through Coots did not have any issues whatsoever. So I hope that information helps. Please subscribe, hit like to my channel. As anything changes, I'll update you guys, but that's the new change. If you're vaccinated, you don't need the test anymore. If you're unvaccinated, you still do. Definitely recommend you getting an appointment several days ahead of time. Set that appointment up for when you want it in Great Falls. If not, you will be sitting in a hotel in Great Falls, as they will not budge. This guy offered to give her $500 the last one. She's like, I don't care if you offer 5,000, you're not getting through till your appointment. So don't sound like they're lovely to deal with at all. They're the only show in town, I think. So I hope that information helps. Please, if you're going to make this drive, I want to hear from you. BigSkyBlessing@gmail.com. I want to help everyone that I can. And thank you so much. And I hope everybody has a blessed day. Thank you.